What is up, guys, and welcome to F1 2019. Huge thank you to Codemasters for inviting me down to their studio to record this gameplay just for you guys. So yeah, big props go to them. Without, all your support, watching my videos over the years, this would not be possible. So huge thank you. Leave a like, subscribe to see plenty more F1 2019 content. I did record a lot of videos from this capture event. I recorded about an hour's worth of footage, but I was able to capture a lot of different tracks, a lot of different car combos, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel to see lots of those. Today we're going to be racing around the French Grand Prix in Paul Ricard, driving Daniel Ricciardo's Renault, and we're going to see what we can do from wherever the hell it puts us on the grid. So let's jump into the race now. Kick it off, Crofty.
It's that time once again, the final moment before lights out and the charge down to turn one. Who will come out on top at Paul Ricard today? We'll find out soon as the French Grand Prix gets underway. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn one?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn one as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday.
Okay, be wary of the cars ahead braking suddenly into one. We could ruin our race if we hit them. Good luck.
Okay, here we are for the race. We are starting from P12 on the grid for this French Grand Prix. Driving is Daniel Ricciardo. 5 red lights and away we go for our first, although not my first race on F1 2019. This is actually race number 3, or video number 3 that I'm doing. I've got many videos going up on the channel over the next few days regarding this gameplay, but okay, let's forget that happened. Have a cheeky restart and go again. So yeah, like I said, I only had like an hour or so to record with the game, so I had to skip out some of the cutscenes that you might have saw earlier, like the starting grid, but lots of new graphics everywhere. We'll get to that as we see fit, but let's just deal with turn 1 first. Here we go. AI pretty aggressive, I found, on this build of the game. Representatives from Codemasters did say that, AI modeling and their behavior traits and whatever is one of the last things that gets worked on for the game. As in, like, they keep on working on that right up until the release of the game. So the AI's behavior and stuff could be still subject to change. And anything that you see in this build, I suppose, as we go around the outside of Kevin Magnussen. That was very tasty. Work in progress, as you can see. But yeah, we're recording in 4K, or at least I hope I am. And hopefully it's made it out to YouTube in time. If you can't see it in 4K as of yet, come back to this video later and you'll be able to see it. But anyway, good start. We dropped a couple of places and now we've gained them back again, back to P12. Yeah, France has undertaken a few changes compared to last year's iteration. Yeah, a few of the curbs are different. The run into turns 1 and 2 is a bit more undulated, I would say. Just a few more, curbs and stuff are a little bit different here and there. So it's quite interesting to see the comparison. Although looking at it now, you probably can't tell too much of a difference. But if I showed you F1 2018 footage, you'd know the difference straight away. But yeah, really cool to see that they've worked on specific tracks. Monaco is another one that's had a lot of work done. And you'll see that video later today, hopefully, if I've been a good YouTuber.
You are derating. Lower the ERS deployment mode before you hit your deployment limit.
And, yeah, Jeff giving us a warning there that we've used too much battery on one lap. Hulkenberg going for a big lockup there into turn 1. That's one thing as well. The lockups are a lot easier to achieve in this game. That's certainly something I noticed, but I can't be 100% on that. I was using a kind of a different setup when I was at the Codemasters offices. I was using a Fanatec CSL Elite, but I was using the load cell pedal, so a completely different feel to what I was used to.
Are you alright?
But that is our sound of the Grand Prix getting up on the curb. That's another thing as well. Arav said this, who was also at this capture event. He was remarking that you can't really ride and straddle the curbs like you could in previous games. And that is the perfect example of what not to do. So, yeah, when you pick up F1 2019 for yourself, just beware the curbs can be deadly. I just touched it. You could run over that all day in F1 2018. Nothing. But, yeah, that's something that has been worked on in the physics, I suppose. Another thing, handling-wise, is that the setups are slightly different. You don't have the ballast anymore, so that's a huge factor into, you know, making you fast in terms of a good setup. A lot of the online and league races use that. That's now gone. So we're going to see huge changes in the way the setups work to achieve lap time. But apart from that, I've got to say that the handling of this game hasn't overly changed all too much. It's really just been a small refinement over the base that, you know, Codemasters been making over the last 2 years with their handling model. So it's nice incremental change and not wholesale changes, which is nice. It's nice and familiar. But like I said, I'm not driving anywhere near my potential. This isn't my home setup, unfortunately. That's always the case. You're always a little bit crap when you venture away from home. Lewis Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Nice new graphics. We should probably move on to the graphics, shouldn't we? They all look pretty nice. The DRS or ERS graphics at the bottom right are a little bit different. Same too with top right. You can see your sectors and how you're doing versus either your personal best, I would say. Overall, it just looks a whole lot cleaner, which is obviously good to see. We've got Kevin Magnussen up next. Let's see if we can get him back. My fuel and ERS usage hasn't been the most efficient. It seems that, well, France has always been a track that's been really brutal on the ERS usage, so it's very hard to recover some of your battery, and I'm really starting to struggle with that. When we get to like laps 4 and 5, you'll see how really low on battery I get and how my pace kind of drops off. Hello, just giving you a bit of a wave in the rear vision mirror with the DRS. Geez, I can't talk today. But anyway, that was a nice move on K-Mag. We are up to P12. Well, back to where we started in this Grand Prix. And it's been one of those races, it seems, into turn 1. Be careful not to mount those curbs. They're a little bit more angular. They're a lot higher this year, so you definitely can't straddle those as much as you could previous games. K-Mag is in the slipstream once again. And I'd hazard a guess to say that he's going to get me here on the run into the middle sector chicane. No, he doesn't. We're later under brakes. So that might be the 90-odd AI level that I'm running at the moment. Like I said, I was driving absolutely poorly on this day, so I had to turn it down a little bit. That's another moment with the curbs. Don't touch them, please. Do not touch them. They don't like to be touched. So, yeah, just a fair old warning. We dropped a couple of places there. We got overtaken by the toothpaste car, and now the McLaren is giving us a bit of a hard time here. Let's see if we can squeeze Sainz here. I thought that while I was racing on this game, I just thought I'd test this game to its limits a little bit. In all the different gameplay videos that I did a wet race at Spain where I did a pit stop and I did some weird things. That's me getting a bit wild on the curb. Curbs are ridiculous this year, so don't touch them. Every year, Codemasters get more and more strict on the curbs, which is both a good thing and a bad thing for me, that I can't abuse track limits. But anyway, should we have a listen to the engine? You're probably wanting to hear that, so let's have a little bit of a listen for those purists out there. Renault just sounds a lot better than what it did in the previous games. I feel like the Renault on F1 2018 was the weakest sounding car, but now it sounds bloody awesome, just like you saw in that gameplay video from mine the other week. We've now got Danny Kvyat going up the inside into the fast right-hander. At this point, I've got no real amount of fuel left to play with. You can see my ERS storage is at like 7-8%. So we're really struggling here to get home. Just try and hold on to as many positions as what I can. This Renault is pretty bad, it seems, just like in real life. Please get better for the second half of the season, I pray. Lewis Hamilton wins the Grand Prix. we're going to come away with some lowly positions here. A last-minute dive to get past Kvyat, and it wasn't to be. Checkered flag, 16th place. Not a good day.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So there we go. That has been a race around Paul Ricard. Some nice new cutscenes for the podium. It's about time we got some new cutscenes, so there you go. The drivers look a whole lot more enthused to be up there on the podium, which is, you know, good to see. But yeah, that is a small taste of F1 2019. Let's hear from Crofty one last time.
Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Well, Lance Stroll would be my pick. He managed to keep a cool head today whilst pushing through the field.
Well, Ant, an end to another...
Yeah, we don't need to hear any more of them. I didn't get Driver of the Day, so they can get stuffed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. Like I said, I captured like an hour, maybe slightly more of F1 2019 content at plenty of different tracks, so check back on the channel later today, tomorrow, to see that gameplay. I've got some F2 stuff. You can see right here I'm browsing the classic car content, but unfortunately I couldn't try the new stuff, the 1990 stuff like Ayrton Senna and Alan Prost. So unfortunately that's not going to be a video until closer to release, but we'll have to wait in due course. Did I say I've got F2 coverage? That's going to be a video too. All the tracks I've got to pick from are Bahrain, Spain, France, and Monaco, so enjoy that content. I'm also doing a giveaway on Twitter for F1 2019. I think I'll tweet something out today, actually, to mark or celebrate the occasion, so follow me over on there. And yeah, that's it from me today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.